Good evening, you're watching Estuary News. Coming up, we delve into Hull's untold history, speaking to an author from Hull University. We feature another Dog of the Week looking for a home, and tonight's guest is Ken Vincent, talking about Cleethorpes Town's upcoming FA Vase game. Welcome to Estuary News. I'm Erica Barker. Now it's time for the news headlines.
A 22-year-old has been released on bail after being arrested in connection with the McDonald's car park shooting. The incident happened on Saturday as shots were fired at a car in the busy McDonald's car park on St Andrew's Quay in Hull. Meanwhile, police are still trying to locate 24-year-old Liam Windass, wanted in connection with the incident. A police chase took place through the Boothbury Road area of the city on Wednesday evening, ending near to Sirius Academy, but no arrests were made and it's yet unclear whether it was in connection with the hunt for Liam Windass. Inquiries are continuing following the death of a man at a property in Grimsby. The death, which was reported to police shortly before 1 p.m. on Wednesday, is being treated as unexplained. Officers are still trying to establish the circumstances around the death at the property on Wheelsby Street. Police have released CCTV stills of 2 people they would like to speak to following 3 incidents of shop theft in the Willoughby area between Monday, December the 7th and Saturday, December the 12th. The man and woman have been urged to contact the police to assist them with their inquiries. Estuary Hall is to host an event aimed at protecting a seabird colony. Residents who use jet skis around Flamborough Head are invited to help develop a new voluntary code of conduct aimed at reducing disturbance to the 250,000 strong protected colony. The event will take place on Saturday the 6th of February. Grimsby's iconic Ramsden store is set to close, leaving jobs at risk. The 70-year-old site is set to be filled with new shops, according to the Grimsby Telegraph, as the business look to relocate to a new site. Dog owners are being encouraged to get their pets microchipped ahead of a change in the law, which will make it compulsory. From April, new legislation in England will state that all dogs aged 8 weeks and over must be microchipped and registered to an authorised microchip database. And demolition is starting at Former School as part of flood defence work. The disused Sydney Smith School in Anlaby is being taken down to make way for a £21 million flood defence scheme. It's hoped it will protect homes in areas such as Hessle and West Hull in the wake of the 2007 floods. And that's all your news for now. Don't forget you can get in touch in the usual ways. You can call 01472 31553, email news@estuary.tv or by searching for us on Facebook or Twitter @EstuaryTV. Bye for now.
Far Horizons, a book written by Dr. Rob Robinson from Hull University, explores the events that have helped to shape the city's history, events that people are often unaware of. Now the book is being reprinted for the City of Culture celebrations. Dave Nunn went to delve a little deeper.
When people think of historical figures from Hull, the first names that pop into their heads are ones like William Wilberforce and Amy Johnson. One local academic argued that there is a lot more to Hull than those names, so wrote a book, Far Horizons, which is being reprinted this year.
Well, the book Far Horizons is really a biography of Hull people and ships and their global impact. The reason I wrote this book, and it originally came out in 2010, was because I'd got rather frustrated. In the sort of late 90s and early part of this century, we seem to have turned our back on the sea in Hull and the area. And I remember going to a presentation about pioneering Hull, and the sea got a couple of mentions, and I thought, this is wrong, this is why we're here. So I went away and started doing proper research for the book.
With City of Culture on the horizon, Dr. Robinson wants people to see the hidden history of Hull that many people may not know about, and emphasise the strides and changes people from Hull have made that have helped shape the modern world.
I think it's changing. When I first wrote this, my argument would have been we were very good at doing Wilberforce. You might get a bit of Amy Johnson, you might get a bit of Andrew Marvell, and you might get a bit of Philip Larkin, but that was about it. And whereas we're much more multi-dimensional than that, and I think that since then people have picked up with things and run. And I like to think that this book played a modest part in helping that change in perceptions that's come about with City of Culture and everything.
Examples of famous Hullensians talked about in the book include Sir John Hall, former Prime Minister of New Zealand who took an active interest in women's suffrage, and led New Zealand to be the first country in the world to give women the vote.
Yeah, I mean, how many people know that Sir John Hall, the former Prime Minister of New Zealand, was the man who, for over 20 years, pushed for New Zealand to give women the vote. And New Zealand, thanks to his help, was the first country in the world to give women the vote. The first step in emancipating half the world's population. From Hull, and not many people know that tale. Or, for example, Gassy Jack Dayton, the man who founded Vancouver. He's from Hull. Go wherever you go in the world, and you'll find, you can cover stories of people and ships from Hull and their global impact.
Dr. Robertson says he has enough material for another book, and with City of Culture on the horizon, he says it's important for the people of Hull to learn about the global impact their city has had upon centuries of history.
Yeah, I'd say look into it because if you look back in time, you'll see that when Britain was the world's leading maritime nation, Hull was its third port. It's always been of global significance, and it's Hull's unique selling point, and it's something that we really should relish and build on.
And if you have any news or sports stories for us, you can get in touch by emailing on news@estuary.tv or giving us a ring on 01472 315561. Well, next on the show then, Cleethorpes Town Football Club on the up. They're in 4th place in their division and have some big plans for their ground. Coming up on Saturday, they are in the next round of the FA Vase competition when they host Alvechurch at the Bradley pitches. With us in the studio to tell all is Ken Vincent. Hello Ken, how are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
You didn't have to travel far, did you?
No, not very far, no.
Cleethorpes Town then, they're doing well.
Extremely well. After a bad start to the season, we've picked up and done things properly, and we're in a very, very nice and steady position to enable us to challenge for the things that we have to challenge in the next coming months.
And what's made that come around then? What's instigated that pickup?
Hard work and lots of effort from everybody at the club. It's down to pure and simply down to hard work and effort. That's all it is.
And going into Saturday's game, it's a big game, isn't it?
Big game for everybody at the club, the 4th round of the FA Vase. Technically, if we can win it, which I'm confident we can do, then we're only 3 or 4 games away from Wembley. And hopefully a final that I think we can actually get to.
Incredible. Did you think, honestly, that you would still be in the FA Vase now?
I think you have to take each game as it comes. You have to do your research into your opponents. But Cleethorpes Town are an exceptional set of players with a great manager and good backroom staff. And the whole concept of the club is progression, progression, progression. And that's what the club's built on. And those players have done the job that we asked them to do, and they've come out on top in every round. And
I would assume that you are after promotion then?
Promotion, yes, that's the ultimate aim of every football club, and Clee Town are no different. And yes, we're looking to go up to the Evo stick, north or south, whichever comes first, and take it on from there, because that's when you really get into the step system of the Football League.
Because you're a physio, aren't you, Ken?
Yes.
But you know everything about the club. How long have you worked there for?
I've worked there for 3 years now, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. And as people keep telling me, I'm living the dream.
Oh, massively.
Yeah.
Because you were saying earlier that they train twice a week, don't they? And a
Yes.
lot of them have jobs outside of training. So this is real commitment, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. The players are absolutely committed to everything that they do. The whole setup at Cleethorpes Town is geared to achieving the very best results that we can get with the staff that we've got, and that is applicable right from the under-6s right through to the first team.
And the game on Saturday, are you expecting a big turnout?
We hope so. As Grimsby Town are away at Welling, it would be very nice to see 500 or 600 people there, and it will be what we consider to be the toughest game that we've had yet. Alvechurch are on a run, they haven't lost in the last 10, and I think we've lost 1 in 15, so it's going to be a real close game, but it's a game I'm confident that we can win.
And how was morale going into that game on Saturday?
The morale at the club is exceptionally good. Everybody's on top of the tree. Christmas is over. We're down to the real business now as we get to getting into the season and getting towards Easter when things start to sort out. We've a lot of games coming up, so not only is it the Vase, but there's a commitment of league games week in, week out now for the next 2 months. So we're going to be really busy, and we'll need all our players at the very top of the game.
And obviously, being the physio, you're going to help them get there.
Oh, hopefully, yeah, but all the staff together work together really well.
Is it a big team there?
Not a big team, but we've got a team that reflects what the club wants and how it works and how it can achieve the results. And they do all sorts of jobs, from cleaning dressing rooms to washing the kit and getting everything else ready.
And that's the thing, isn't it? It must be a real team effort. When you look
Yeah.
at these Premiership clubs and other clubs, you know what I mean, they have everything going into them.
Yeah.
But this is everyone pulling together, isn't it?
Absolutely, it's a total commitment from all the volunteers, and that's what non-league football and grassroots is based on, is volunteers. And Cleethorpes Town really have got that sorted out, and we've got a whole structure to the club which is at the moment achieving everything that we need to do.
Is that great for youngsters as well?
Yes, we have a fantastic youth policy. That youth policy is beginning to see the benefits, as two of the young lads coming through. Kieran Wrestle made his debut last week, and Birchie, the young goalkeeper, played in the League Cup for us, both from the junior development setup. So that proves that if you're good enough, you can make it.
That's fantastic, Ken. I'm just going to have to leave it
That's
there,
all
but
right.
we will be back in a second. Well, stay with us, because coming up after the break, we feature another dog of the week, and Dan Kemp will be here to discuss the stories of the day. Welcome back, you're watching Estuary News. Still to come, Dan Kemp has a news roundup, and we'll have the latest local sports news and results. My guest, Ken Vincent, is here to talk about Cleethorpes Town's FA Vars dreams and the club's hopes for 2016. We did touch briefly before the break that it's not just a male club, is it?
No.
Lots of things go on at Cleethorpes Town, don't
Yes, yes. Development is the key word. The club's junior section is thriving at the moment, with teams from under 6 right through to under 17, 18s, 21s, and then the development reserves in the first team. The ladies section has been totally revamped, and that is now progressing in the direction that we want it to. And of course, the ground itself is now subject to having our own stadium built on it, so that we can achieve some of the things that we want to achieve as a club going forward in the Football League.
And talking about that stadium, work is underway, isn't it?
Yeah, work is underway on the peripheral boundaries of what we've got to do within the planning permission that's been given to us, and the people working on that are meeting all those requirements, and at the end of March that will start, and we will see the first roots of that ground starting to grow into a stadium that is fit for purpose.
So what should fans expect to see?
What should they expect to see? A ground with facilities for the local community, as we are an FA Community Charter Standard Club.
What does it mean to the community to have such a resource like that?
Well, it's available for particularly young children, but now with the advent of over 60s football as well, then there is opportunities for the older age group to get involved, and also the club is putting on other things for fitness for the whole community to benefit by. And the development, although it's going to take some time, will eventually be there for the whole community to use.
And what is actually being developed?
What is being developed is a stadium which can meet the requirements of the football club at senior level, but also be available for any other particular use that it is. The cricket will still be there, the bowls will still be there, and there will be small pitches for junior football as well. So the whole development is going to engross the whole of the Lindham Club space.
Because for people who haven't been before, what do you currently have?
We just have a senior pitch there, which has got no facilities, i.e. floodlights or anything like that. So we can't get into the stadium, into the league, because they don't accept it unless you've got a certain requirement. We are in the process of starting to lay those certain requirements down, and once we get some of it into place, then you'll be able to see the shape taking, and a new stadium eventually there by the 2017-18 season, I would imagine.
So looking ahead then, you're going to have this fantastic facility, you know, the morale's fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you think that there's a possibility that in the future Cleethorpes could, you know, get promotion and compete with some of the biggest clubs around?
There's no reason why they shouldn't. There's a lot of hope. It's all about hard work and effort, but the rewards, what you get, are absolutely fantastic at the end of the day if you achieve it. and my hope, I might not be there. You know, you never know what's around the corner, but it's one of the best moves I've ever made, and I'm thankful to all the people at Cleethorpes Town for giving me the opportunity. And with the people that we've now got there, from the board of directors, the chairman, vice chairman, and all the people who work there, I can't see them failing. It's a real team effort, it's well thought out, it's well planned. They're thinking about what they want, and most of all, it will be an absolute benefit to the local community.
Because you've had a really personal journey as well, haven't you, with the club, Ken?
Yes, it's been a very good one for me. I've been around quite a few number of years now in local football, but non-league football as well, and I'm really enjoying football, and it's given me everything that I want. If I can give something back, then that's great. But the most important, I think, for all of us is the development of the young kids that we've now got on our books. I think it's now over 600 young children, female and male, and if we can continue to keep the opportunities open for those children to play football at whatever level or requirement they are, then that'll be fantastic.
That's brilliant. Well, absolute pleasure, Ken. Thank you so much for your time. Really
Thanks for
appreciate
inviting me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, now it's time for another dog that's looking for a forever home in our Dog of the Week feature.
Dog number 125 is Oscar, a 6-year-old crossbreed bitch, okay in the kennels. She also likes to walk, so she's looking for a really good home.
And joining me now to talk us through what has been happening across the region is the lovely Dan Kemp. I've not called you lovely for a long time.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you?
Good evening. What's going on?
First story, this is in the Hull Daily Mail. This is at the old Hull truck site, which is now a derelict wasteland, I think we're fair to say, is going to become a 258 space car park, hopefully by February or March. So not far away at all. Hull City Council approved the plans, and it's going to be leased back to a private car parking company, Car Park Management Limited.
Do we need these car parks?
I think so, yeah. I know, especially obviously around Christmas time, which has just gone. I think you see a lot of trouble trying to get into car parking spaces. I know it took me half an hour to drive around Hull in the week before Christmas to try and find spaces. Maybe now in January it's maybe less needed, but it's good to have the provision. I suppose you'd rather have it there.
Culture?
Yeah, of course, that as well. Yeah, City of Culture is going to be absolutely massive, and obviously they're expecting hundreds of thousands of guests and tourists to be coming from across the country, and they all need somewhere to park.
Exactly.
So
what else do you have?
I think that's a fair assessment. The next story is in the Market Raising Mail. This is that officials at the Nottinghamshire and Lincolnshire Air Ambulance revealed they need to raise £2.2 million to keep the service running this year.
Right.
Now, I interviewed someone last year who said he owes his life to them, and obviously a lot of people have exactly the same story, and they flew over 900 missions last year alone. So you can see what a massive kind of impact that would have if one day it was taken out of the air. And they're hoping for a new faster helicopter, an AW169, whatever one of those is. I don't know about helicopters personally, but that'll hopefully lead to an improvement in the service, and obviously all this money will go towards that.
Oh, it's fantastic though, so wish them best of luck.
Yes, but obviously they need to find the money. I'm sure they'll be doing a lot of fundraising to go around that. Now if I can turn over the page. There we go. I was struggling there. Yeah, the next story, this is in the Scunthorpe Telegraph. We'll move swiftly on. 10-year-old Scunthorpe United Academy player is taking the big step up from the under-11s team to leading the side out on Sunday for the FA Cup game as their mascot.
Lovely.
Now that's a good story, isn't it?
That is a good. Did you ever do that as a kid?
No, I'd have loved to have done that, but Mum and Dad never put me forward.
Oh.
Done. So he's going to be leading the team out. Richard Clark, who's from Eland, he's a big Scunthorpe fan. He goes to a lot of the games, and he's going to be holding Stephen Dawson's hand as they go out through the tunnel on Sunday. That's brilliant. Obviously, best of luck to Scunthorpe as well. Next story. This is a story we've heard a couple of times already. Is Grimsby really the worst place to live in England?
Oh no.
What do you reckon? You don't live in Grimsby,
this comes off the back of Hull made a list, didn't it, as the best places to visit in the world, and now Grimsby's coming on the backlash.
It's also made a list.
Yeah, Hull's in the list, isn't it, as well as the worst place.
Well, Hull was on top spot for the last 5 years in the worst places to live, but now Grimsby's got its mantle off it. So there've been several obviously comments coming in. Grimsby Telegraph ran the article.
Do you know what though? Like, can anyone just rock up and do these things? Like,
I might write a list.
Because this is from Facebook, isn't it? This is from reactions on Facebook. That's how they've compiled this. But anyone, I don't know. There just seems to be a new one every week.
It's obviously a way to make
Why
some
don't
money.
we do one? Should we
Get
set
it
one up?
sponsored and make a bit of cash.
We'll put Grimsby at the top.
Well, I should add though, the Grimsby Telegraph had people writing in, say it's certainly not the worst place to live, but also someone did call it a disaster zone as well.
Oh,
So
dear.
maybe if people in that area also think it's like that, then maybe that's not the best way to portray it to others.
No. I mean, what do you think about these things?
Well, I don't think Grimsby's all that bad. Obviously, everywhere's got. The thing is, everywhere you go to in the country's got bad areas.
No, of course.
Everywhere's
it
got
does.
bad areas.
It
Everywhere's
does.
got good areas.
And it's also fantastic at the same time.
And that.
I'll have to leave it there, Dan.
Brilliant.
Thank you. And now here's Dan with the sport.
Scunthorpe United have signed Hull City left-back Connor Townsend on a free transfer. The 22-year-old made 12 appearances on loan at Grimsby Town from the Tigers, but has now completed a surprise move to Glanford Park. Townsend spent the second half of last season with United, making 6 appearances in all. Unfortunately though for the Iron, he's cup-tied for the weekend's clash with Chelsea, so won't feature. And on that game, skipper Stephen Dawson says the club aren't just going on a day out to Stamford Bridge. He believes the full squad must make a good account of themselves and believe they can take something from the game. And we'll hope to bring you an interview with Mark Robbins in tomorrow's bulletin. Grimsby Town are at Welling on Saturday in the National League. Here's their goalkeeper coach, Andy Warrington.
Welling's, they were a good side at Hull. They've struggled of late. We played them not that long ago and a really good result against them. And it's a case of us going down there and, you say that we've slipped up against guys there. We've been on a fantastic run, conceding 1 goal in the 6 games and 6 wins on the bounce in the league.
City of Hull Academy trio Jez Litton, Joe Cater and Will Oakes have all been called up for the England Academy Rugby League squad for their 2016 programme. It's the first task for newly appointed youth coach Gary Chambers, who selected a 26-man squad that will train each month between January and October and test themselves against France in Perpignan this March. And that's all for the sport.
Well, that's it for tonight. If you have a news story, then visit our Facebook or Twitter pages at Estuary TV or email news@estuary.tv, or you can ring us 01472 315561. But until tomorrow, good night.
Estuary TV weather, sponsored by Rix Petroleum, your local family-owned heating oil supplier this winter.
Hello and welcome to Estuary TV's weather. Friday will start with some showery rain and cloudy. It will brighten up during the afternoon though, with a risk of further scattered showers. Temperatures of 7 degrees. Saturday also starts unsettled with showers or perhaps longer spells of rain.
Rix, servicing the region's oil boilers this winter from a name you can trust. Get in touch at rix.co.uk or call us on 01482 838383.